All right. A blessed and wonderful morning, everyone. Thank God it's Friday. Today is July 15, 2022, and hashtag Team LRC is back for the third and last installment of Prepping Up for Success, a webinar series on self-presentation skills and strategies for graduating students. Ayan, kumusta po ang ating buong linggo? Biyernes na po, ano? Marami po ba tayong na-accomplish? Naging productive po ba ang ating linggo o baka may mga hinahabol pang deadlines? Taas ang kamay ng mga may deadlines pa today. Kasama po ko dyan. Laban lang, kaya natin yan. At sino naman po yung mga chillax na sa umagang ito? Sige nga po, mag-comment po kayo sa ating comment section. Tingnan natin kung sino mga chillax na dahil tapos na ang kanilang mga deadlines at lahat ng kanilang mga tasks. Hashtag sana all. But kidding aside po, maliit man o malaki ang ating mga naging achievements this week, let's celebrate that. Sabi nga, di ba, success is a series of small wins. Kaya nga mga ka-prepping up for success, just keep on going and keep moving forward. All right. At muli po magandang umaga sa lahat ng ating mga early birds sa ating FB Live. Nakita ko na dyan kanina si Angelo Manuel. Ayan, good morning Angelo. Si Hitesh, si Diane, si Mark, si Michael, si Abigail, andyan na rin siya. Si Pam, at nandito na rin si Nanette, nasa ating FB Live na silang lahat. So maraming salamat sa maagang pagtutok. At sino dito yung mga makukumpleto today ang 3 sessions ng ating webinar series? Sige nga, yung present simula Monday, session 1 on Dress Up. And then session 2 on Speak Up. At ngayong umaga ang ating session, third and last session on Savvy Up. Sige nga, type 1. Sino yung mga makukumpleto? Yung mga webinar series. Yung 3 sessions natin sa ating webinar series. Patingin na mga ever-present. Good morning, Net. Good morning, Juriel. At kay Edward, good morning. Meron ba? 1, si Jerome. Congratulations. Si Diane. Ayan. Alright, good morning din sa aking husband na nanonood at ang aking anak na si CJ. Good morning. Si Ruche, ayan, congratulations. Si Edward, si Wilmer, si Pami. Meron pa ba? May hahabol pa. Si Ruche, okay, me po, number 1 daw. Ayan, thank you so much. Si Angelica, ayan, congratulations sa mga makakakumpleto sa ating webinar series. Talaga namang tinake advantage na po lahat ng ating free and open to all webinar series. Now, for this morning, third but definitely not the least session, we will learn how to present ourselves professionally online. Dahil nga nasa digital age na tayo, ano, iba na talaga yung pag-access at paggamit natin sa information. Mas mabilis na ngayon at kailangan din nating sumabay sa panahon kung saan matunog na pinag-uusapan or baka naririnig nyo na palagi yung tinatawag na brand. B-R-A-N-D. Ano ba yung brand na yan? Para saan ba yan? Kailangan ba talaga na i-apply? Siguro yan yung mga katanungan na nasa isip natin ngayon. Ano? Well, napaka-exciting ng topic na yan. Kaya naman sa umagang ito, patuloy lamang po kayong tumutok dahil sama tayong matututo mula sa isa na namang powerhouse speaker na ating inimbita. Kaya kung wala pa dito yung inyong mga friendships, classmates, o colleagues, tawagin na po natin silang lahat. I-tag na natin sila sa ating FB Live. And please don't forget to share this video sa inyong mga groups or pages para mas marami pa po tayong ma-inspire at matuto sa umagang ito. As of this morning, we already have a total of 626 registered participants. I hope on board na po tayong lahat. Time check, it's already 10:04 in the morning. Welcome to Prepping Up for Success, a webinar series on self-presentation skills and strategies for graduating students. Today is our third session on Savvy Up, how to build a strong and professional online presence. This is Cheryl Hermosa Ebron, University Extension Associate and Training Coordinator of UPLB LRC and your webinar's moderator today. Just a few friendly reminders, guys. First, at all times, keep your comments helpful and considerate to the speaker, moderator, and to your fellow participants. And then second, if you have questions, feel free to write them down below our comment section and make sure they are relevant to our topic for this morning. And finally, please do not forget to answer the evaluation form after the webinar Our team will deeply appreciate for your comments and suggestions, but please be reminded that the deadline of submission of responses will be until 1 p.m. tomorrow, and that is Saturday. So sa mga hindi po makakapanood ng live, hindi natin makakasama dito sa FB Live, ano po, don't worry, hindi po namin kayo nakakalimutan. Syempre, you can always watch the replay of our sessions on our Facebook page, and you can also watch the recorded sessions on our YouTube channel. I-search na lamang po yung UPLB Learning Resource Center on YouTube, because we now have a total of 3,260 subscribers there. So maraming salamat po sa inyong walang sawang suporta at pagsubaybay. So please continue to like, share, and subscribe as well, and click the notification bell to keep you posted on our videos. Kindly use as well our official hashtag for this webinar series, which is hashtag PreppingUPforSuccess. Yan po ay para mas mabilis nating makita lahat ng resources sa ating webinar series na ito using that hashtag. Alright, ang palagi nating tanong, G ka pa ba? G pa rin bang matuto guys sa ating third and last session? Type G. I-type niyo po ulit ang G kung ready ka na. Sige nga, patingin. Type G. Alright, yes naman. G na G pa rin tayo guys. Kaya para simulan ang ating programa, let's have a short energizer para naman magising ulit ang ating mga brain cells at para mamaya ready na tayong makinig at mag-participate sa ating speaker. Alright? Now, for our energizer, let's answer again a fun question of would you rather? So let's see. Makikita po sa inyong screens ang mga questions. Let's go to the first question. Would you rather? Send the emoji of what option you would like. So pwedeng heart or like po. Ilagay niyo po yan sa ating chat box or comment section kung ano po yung pipiliin niyo. Alright, so the first question is, would you rather post or make a story? Pa-like or pa-heart? Ano po kaya ang gusto niyo dyan? Mas gusto mo bang nagpo-post o mas gusto mong updated lang sa stories? May ganun no? May iba na laging nagpo-post, Facebook post ang ginagamit, may iba naman stories. Ako personally, stories, pag sa post, yung mga relevant lang talaga na gustong-gusto kong i-post, ang ipinopost ko sa Facebook or even sa Instagram. Pero more on stories kapag gusto kong ma-inspire or ma-document yung moment na yon, nilalagay ko siya sa stories. Oy, pareho tayo, Maria, Diane, Jonah, Luis, Jerome, pareho tayong stories. At si Wilmer. Okay? So more on stories din yung pinipili ninyo. Alright, next up, would you rather? Anong tone feed ang ginagamit ninyo? Whether ito ay sa Facebook page, sa Messenger ba yan, or sa Google Chrome ba yan, anong ginagamit ninyo? Is it earthy tone feed or pastel feed? Like or heart? Sige nga, lagay niyo po ang inyong choice. Would you rather have earthy tone feed or pastel feed? Okay, let's see. Si Hannah White. Heart, pastel feed daw. Si Diane, si Maria, si Diane ay earthy tone feed, si Abigail ay pastel feed. Ako mas gusto ko white lang. Minimalist. Ayoko nang masyadong colorful kapag sa feed. Okay, si Wilmer, si Julie, pastel din daw. Si Jerome naman, earthy feed. Ayan. Si Pammy, earthy feed din. Si Luis, si Vera, pastel feed, heart. Okay. Meron pa ba? Pastel feed si Flay. Good morning, Flay. Si Iska, Isel, pastel feed din. Okay? Yung ating mga interns pwede rin mag-react sa ating comment section. Alright, so thank you so much for answering that. Si Jocelyn daw ay earthy tone feed at si Tresha, si Aaron, pastel feed. Alright. Next question, would you rather? Would you rather vlog or would you rather do a blog? Okay, vlog is more on video. Blog is more on essays or writings. Ano yung mas gusto mong gawin? Mag-vlog or mag-blog? Like for vlog, heart for, like for vlog and heart for blog. Okay? Sige nga, patingin. Oh, si Jared vlog daw. Si Reese vlog. Si Maria vlog. Si Dara vlog. Okay? Si Jonah like. So more on video. Si Jeriel din at si Nanette. TikTok daw si Diane. Oh, shout out kay Luis. Thank you so much for making our reels and TikTok videos. Si Luis, vlog. Si Pammy, vlog din daw. Si Erica, si Aaron, si Hannah, team vlog. Si Net, si Graciel, si Julie. Si Julie naman ay vlog daw. Si Vera vlog. Jared vlog. Mas madali ba sa inyo? Depende sa personality, no? Mas more on talk ka ba, video ang pipiliin mo. Mas more on nakakapag-express ka ba sa blog? So, as in sa writing, so you choose blog. So, depende talaga sa ano, no? Sa personality. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in our Energizer for this morning. Sana na-energize kayo. Yan ay patikim pa lang, ano, ng ating session kasi more on savvy up yung ating topic for this morning. All right. So, moving forward, ay, meron pa palang isang question. Sorry naman. So, would you rather, another question, I think this would be the last. Would you rather plan your feed or you do spontaneous feed? Kung ano yung gusto mo lang ma-post or you plan your feed. Alin ka dyan? So, like again sa planned feed and then heart for spontaneous feed. Sa LRC, both. Meron kaming planned feeds, meron din kaming spontaneous feed kapag may mga important events, right, Josh? Ginagawa natin yan ng mga spontaneous feed. But we also have planned feeds for the Facebook page. Spontaneous feed, si Aaron, si Julie, si Diane, si Jonah, si Jeriel, si Reese, si Pammy naman planned feed. Oh, nandito rin ang husband ni Hannah, si Jigo. Ayan, good morning, Jigo. UPLB Learning Resource Center ay spontaneous feed daw. Si Luis ay planned feed at saka si Graciel. Si Julie naman spontaneous feed. Si Vera planned. Si Edward spontaneous. Alin kaya ang dapat nating gamitin? Baka makakuha tayo ng tips mamaya no, sa ating speaker. Alright. So once again, maraming salamat sa inyong mga hearts and likes sa pag-comment at pagsagot ng ating would you rather questions. Okay, so moving forward, let's now go to the main part of our session. It is an honor to introduce to you a part of #LRC family who we have seen grow and bloom into an amazing, successful, and wonderful person that she is now. Our speaker is a story-first digital marketer and devout essayist. She graduated with a communication arts degree from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. As a passionate writer and storyteller, she started out her career as a senior writing consultant at ClientCom Incorporated, where she reviewed essays from college students in the US and Australia and create personalized tutorials to address their essay writing concerns. She later joined Heinz Inquirer Publications to pursue her dream job as a junior content creator, where she hustled to attend shots, write articles for in-house titles and brands, proofread digital and print materials, and brainstorm with a team for new concepts to pitch. In 2019, our speaker then became a creative marketing specialist at Boulder, where she gained her extensive experience from creating website content to driving hot leads and through sales collaterals to help grow a startup company. Then she became a marketing manager for Kohi Social in 2020, the marketing boot camp for her dreams, where she get to test out all the marketing training she gained throughout the years by leading a team of content creators, brand strategists, social media managers, and community managers. This year, our speaker, who is now a seasoned digital marketer, is currently working in one of the fast-growing tech companies in the world, where she crafts story-rich, impact-focused content that showcases authenticity and the power of design. She is now a senior brand copywriter for Canva. Our speaker is in a relentless pursuit of projects that spark her creativity, all while being a super mom to her daughter and her doggo. In her spare time, she toys with clever puns, beeps up her drag race knowledge, and scours the internet for Pinterest home inspirations. Dear friends, to help us build a strong brand and craft a professional online presence, It is Team LRC's pleasure to welcome in the Zoom space none other than Miss Hanna Melissa Sorbito. Good morning, Miss Hanna.
Good morning, Miss She. Good morning to everyone who's viewing us from Facebook. I'm super excited for today's session, so I hope you're as excited as me.
Yes, yes, we are. All right, you now have the Zoom space, Hanna.
Mhm. Okay, so as you may have seen in the title of the webinar for today's session, again, this is the third and final installment of Prepping Up for Success, and today we'll be talking about how we can savvy up when it comes to our online presence. So we will be talking about how you can build a strong and professional online presence, but to simplify it, I would like to call it brand building for professionals. So I wanted to start off the discussion today this way because I'd like to encourage you guys to come into this session. Diba? It's going to be a jam-packed learning session, and I want you guys to come into it with a mindset na you are going to be brand builders. It's not as simple as optimizing your LinkedIn profiles. It's not as simple as tweaking or constantly updating your professional profiles online. We want you to have a mindset na this is going to be a holistic process. This is going to be something sustainable and long term that will align with your career goals. So yun yung gusto nating perspective with this. This is brand building, this is for the long term, and this is something that will beef up your professional career and will help open a lot of opportunities for you. So with that, our specific session goals for today are the following. By the end of this session, we want you to come out of this learning space with a clear understanding of how important building a professional brand is. Bakit nga ba siya kailangan? Anong mako-contribute niya sa career nyo? And ano yung impact that it can make on the opportunities that you will open for yourselves? And as the meat of our discussion, we're going to learn the 5 P's of a professional brand. So this is a model that I created that I hope can help you guys understand ano yung mga specific components of a strong professional brand. So we'll go through them one by one, and while we do that, we'll also learn best practices on how you can manage your professional brand. So we'll start off with the idea that we're building it, but again, because it's for sustainability and it's a long-term process, there is also a matter of management or a matter of monitoring when it comes to building our professional brand. So yeah, but before we deep dive into today's session, I have a few questions for you guys just for us to set the context for today, in order for me to understand sino ba yung mga kausap natin today. So we'll have a quick session or a quick vote casting on Mentimeter for this. I have a few questions to ask lang, but to get started, there you go. I think there's a code for this, no, Ate She, tama?
Yes, Anna, there is. So, guys, go to menti.com and use the code 89625651. You can also see that on your screen. And then I'll post sa ating comment section yung link para diretso na kayo makapunta. All right?
Ayan. Okay. So we have 2 specific questions lang just for us to set the context or set the environment of our learning space for today. So go to menti.com, you guys, and parang type in the code 89625651. And if you're here na, this is the first question for today. What type of professional are you? So are you a career starter? Are you a graduating student, a fresh graduate that is yet to embark your journey in the professional space? Or are you a career builder, someone who already has a few jobs here and there, pero would like to build your portfolio and build your online presence as a professional? Or maybe you're a career shifter, someone who's been in a specific industry for a long time, but found a new love or discovered a new industry that they would like to explore. So most of our responses here are career starters, pero hindi naman nalalayo sa career builders. I would assume that the career starters are some graduating students of UPLB and other colleges then, which will graduate soon. So congrats, congrats and good luck to that. But yeah, wala masyadong career shifters. may friend ako na attending this webinar and alam ko career shifter siya pero hindi ko alam ba't wala siya diyan. Pero yeah, yun. More of career starters pero hindi nalalayo. There, I know that one person na career shifter. Thank you po. Yun. Yeah, so this would give us an idea kung ano yung kausap natin, kung sino yung kausap ko today, what types of professionals are you, and maybe it can help me provide specific examples too that that will resonate more with you. So thank you. Thank you for answering that, you guys. Let's move on to the next question. So same, do you have a professional brand? Yes, I do. No, I'm not really sure. So I'm asking this before we even define what professional brand is so that I have an idea kung alam nyo ba what a professional brand is, kung there are people here in the room who can confidently say na I have a professional brand in the making. There are two. Proud of you. That's a good jump off point. 3, no. 8, I'm not really sure. Interesting. 10, okay. More responses. Let's wait for more. Konti yung mga nagsabing they have a professional brand na, no? Pero yeah, I think that's an indication na you would guys take a lot of value from this session as well. So yeah, I think we're okay with that. Thank you so much for participating in that quick vibe check. But let's move back or move on with our discussion for today. Thank you for sharing your responses. That will give me again an idea kung ano yung mga i-share ko today. But I know you might be wondering, why should we care about building a personal brand? Diba? Para saan ba siya? Isn't it just for executives or CEOs or people who come to work in power suits every day? Or isn't it just for people na meron ng existing network that they can leverage for their business ventures? Usually, ganun yung connotation natin of people who are more entitled to having a professional brand. Well, the answer is no. Because in simple definition, a professional brand is your identity or your image as a professional. It's a sum of different factors that make up your best version at work. So the moment that you become a professional, I'd like to believe that we are actually starting to build our professional brand already. But what most of us miss out is making that conscious effort of improving the brand or developing the brand. And by failing to do that, we also fail to open ourselves to opportunities that will help us scale up when it comes to our career path. And especially in the past decade, diba, there are two big things that happened that really shape the way our professions are being seen and the way we do work. So what are those two big things? First and foremost, everything has started to gone virtual, diba? And in relation to that, yung second big thing is that people have easy and free access to information about you. So they can easily Google you, and in that particular minute that they're Googling about you, it they tend to have a an impression of you already even before they speak with you. So ganun yung power ng online presence mo or ng professional brand mo, and it can really contribute to how you're being perceived by the people in your professional network and how you can possibly get a job. So I will show a couple of stats that will double down on that fact. In a study in 2010, it showed that 75% of HR departments are required to search job applicants online. So this is 10 years, 12 years ago, di ba? Hindi pa ganon ka-booming yung social networking sites, hindi pa ganon ka-vast yung information that we can access online. Pero there's already an effort on the part of the recruiters to search information about their job applicants online. Ano pa today? Another more recent study that was done in IT and BPO companies in Cebu, it showed that social media data is used during reference checks, application, and interview stages. So people are stalking you. when you hand over your CV, hindi natatapos doon yung background check nila, hindi sa reference checks or character references mo natatapos because they have open access to information about you. So we have to be aware of that. Now, walang nag-regulate kasi nung access to that information. So they can use that or they can use that to their advantage in order to know more about you even before they talk about you. So they will look at your social media profiles. They might look at your social media profiles. They will look in your professional profiles. So for example, LinkedIn, and that immediately gives an impression to these people who can open opportunities for you in the professional arena. And to to add more layer pa to these realities, we had COVID, di ba? COVID happened, and that too revolutionized the way we see and the way we do work. We'd like to think now we're a post-pandemic workforce, post-pandemic in a sense that we have evolved from the first few phases of the pandemic na hindi natin alam kung paano magtrabaho and nag-shutdown lahat. But ngayon, we have revolutionized the way we see and do work. More and more companies are open to having global and distributed teams. That means na 3, 5 years ago, yung mga jobs that are open for us to grab, limited siya dun sa location kung nasaan tayo. Di ba? Usually, kung ano lang yung kayang abutin ng commute or kung ano yung mga pinakamalapit na or you migrate to another place in order to get work. Pero now that we are living in a pandemic and the workforce has totally changed and transformed, they're open to hiring people across the globe too. And we've also seen how remote work, diba, has changed the way we see and do work. A lot of people are spending most of their times at their homes, pero they're still doing productive work. And as we ease into the new normal of work, we also welcomed hybrid work, wherein some companies will give you the privilege to remote work, to do work remotely, or go into the office on site and do remote work. And do on-site work. So, kung ganun na yung context natin, kung ganun na yung nature ng workplaces natin ngayon, most likely, and I think most of us here experience then virtual recruitment, di ba? You can look for jobs, you can apply for a job, you can get into an interview for a job, and you can land a job without leaving your home. You sit in front of your screen and go through the entire recruitment process at home. And it will open a lot of opportunity for you then to work from home when you get the job. So I set the context of the conversation this way because I'd like to remind you guys that we have to accept that the future of work is now. There are a lot of changes that happened. Kahit parang towards the pandemic, during the pandemic, after the pandemic, iba na yung, may mga companies na nag-transform talaga into something that's more adaptive and that's more forgiving, that's more progressive to employees like us. And yung question here is, paano ka mag-a-adapt dun sa different changes na nangyari, di ba? How can you be easily accessible as a talent? How can you position yourself as a global talent that in a way you open yourself to these opportunities na hindi ka na lang limited to where you are, to where you have graduated, hindi ka na lang limited to a specific niche kasi there are a lot of open roles na rin in new industries na hindi natin alam in the past 3 to 5 years. So again, the future of work is now, and your personal brand, your professional brand will contribute a lot to how you adapt to this new phase of the workforce. Good thing, we're going to learn about that today. I'm going to share the 5 P's of building a strong professional brand so you can prepare yourself for the future of work. So there are specific components of a strong professional brand that I think you should prioritize when it comes to creating your brand. So ito yung 5 yun. The platform, the portfolio, passion, privacy, and personality. We'll go through this one by one. So first up is the platform. So when you're building a strong professional brand, it's very important that you pick a platform that will serve its purpose. So 'di ba kanina tinanong ko kayo, what type of professional ba kayo? Kasi yun yung mag-shape kung ano yung purpose niyo when building a strong professional brand. So when you're a career starter, when you're just a fresh graduate, you're graduating, yung goal niyo in building your professional brand is to land your first job. So yun yung eyes on the prize, gusto kong magka-work after graduation. That's why you're getting into a specific platform, and that's why you're starting with your professional brand. Second segment of our audience, yung mga career builders. So when you're a career builder, your goal is to build up your portfolio, beef up your experiences, and position yourself as a reputable professional. Maybe may gusto kang kunin na dream job, or baka may promotion ka na gustong makuha. You do these things because you have a specific purpose or a specific goal depending on your stage in your career. And then for career shifters naman, yung third audience segment natin, most of you guys are open to exploring new industries, exploring new opportunities, and kailangan ding mag-re-strategize when it comes to professional branding because you're entering a new era, you're entering a new arena, 'di ba? Iba na siya sa usual na industry mo, and that will require you to do the work in order for you to enter that new industry. So, when picking a platform, it has to align with your career goals. Bakit ba ito yung specific online platform that will help you build your professional brand? So in the coming slides, I will share a couple of examples. First of which is yung pinaka-famous and pinaka-ginagamit ng different professionals kahit saan ka pang stage, kahit career starter ka, builder ka, or shifter. Yung pinaka-ginagamit is yung LinkedIn. So it's a professional networking site for career development. It allows job seekers to post their CVs, and it also allows employers to post jobs. So ito yung I think, first stepping stone to building a professional brand kasi it's really designed that way. The platform is designed for you to showcase your professional competencies, your experience. So kahit na anong klaseng professional ko pa, I would recommend 10 out of 10 na you really create a LinkedIn account and take off from that in building your professional online presence. So that's one, but there's also more aside from that. For career starters, specifically, my job search sites tayo in which you can also create your professional profiles. So some of the sites that I would recommend is Caliber, JobStreet, Workbean, and Indeed. It allows users to build profiles that can attract potential employers. So specifically for career starters, siya, I think, mag-fit because it allows you to understand ano ba yung jobs in the market that you can apply for. And some of these platforms also have job matching features so that mas fit ka dun sa mga a-applyan mo. So that's also one platform that you can explore and where you can create professional profiles. Another is social networking sites. I personally would like to veer away from considering social media as a professional space for me. Ako personally, like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, mas personal siya for me. Pero for some professionals, like for example, yung mga nasa career building stage na, they use it to help position their brand as a public figure. So for example, lawyers on TikTok, di ba? You would see that. You would also see teachers on TikTok, coaches, or mga service providers or creative professionals on Instagram and Facebook that showcase their talent and showcase their competencies as creative entrepreneurs. So it can be a platform that you can explore too, again, depending on the goal that you want to achieve as a professional. And then finally, we also have these platforms that are meant to house original content creation. So for career builders and shifters, or parang yung mga late into their roles, managerial roles, executive roles, or yung mga nag-shift nga, sometimes they can get benefit from creating authority building content in order to boost their professional brand. Parang it does not stop din naman with just showcasing what you do and what you're good at. Pero yung iba, they go beyond that and even help other people to better themselves and create original content. So that's also another thing that can help boost your professional brand. So some platforms that you can use are, for example, you can use Spotify for podcasts, diba? You can use YouTube for video series. You can use Clubhouse. It's an audio app where you can host like meetings, or it's like Twitter Spaces na app lang siya, pero you are hosting small events with like-minded individuals. Or you can use blog writing. Medium can be a good platform for that. But the whole idea is yung mga tao or yung mga professionals sa phase na to in their careers, they want to beef up their 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 professional brand in a way that they want to establish themselves as an expert. So that's something that you can explore to if nandito ka na sa stage na to in your career. Well, in terms of best practices naman on how you can create a professional account in any platform, here are some of my tips. So you can pick a platform kung ano yung pinaka you think will help you or can give you a head start in building a professional online profile, and then follows these tips. So number one, be consistent with your name, photo, and title. So it's the first thing that people will remember about you most of the time. Para siyang how you name products, 'di ba? Parang when you think of toothpaste, ang naalala ako agad Colgate kasi very clear sila na Colgate toothpaste, or parang when I think of diapers, ang naalala ko agad Pampers, ganyan. Kasi there's a clear connection that they have established for their brand. So it goes the same way with your professional brand too. Be consistent with how you name yourself, how you package yourself, yung public image mo, what title you attribute to yourself. So, example lang sa akin, yung pangalan ko sobrang haba. Hanna, Melissa, and Sorbito Pamaran. Pero, in my professional profiles, I make sure na yung brand ko is intact. So, gusto ko Hanna Sorbito lang yung malalaman nila. And it helps with recall too, na parang, di ba, it helps with recall, it helps with user experience na makikita nila yung name mo on professional networking sites na yun lang, and it's easy to remember. Also, consistently update your information. If you already have picked a platform, make sure that you consistently monitor your usage of it. Na update mo yung basic information, saan ka naman nagtatrabaho. Minsan may may sample ako na parang on LinkedIn, for example, yung hindi mga nag-update ng information sa LinkedIn, LinkedIn will notify your network na, for example, 7 years ka na sa ganitong company, company X, pero wala ka na pala dun, matagal ka na palang nag-resign. So, di ba, imagine na the platform is prompting people to celebrate a milestone with you, but it's inaccurate information, and you could have positioned yourself better as a professional kung very clear ka and accurate about the information that you share on those professional platforms. And then finally, and then also highlight your best professional experiences, especially for career builders. Sometimes hindi na required na ilagay lahat ng professional experiences mo in your online profiles. Especially kapag very specific ka na to the industry that you want to pursue. So be very accurate about them on that aspect. So what are your best works, or what are the best professional experiences na really contributed to your professional brand? Yun yung mga pwede mong i-highlight. And then finally, engage with your community. Again, it does not stop at just creating a profile, an account, for example, on LinkedIn, and yun na yun, that will speak for itself. If you really are serious about networking, about putting yourself out there and building up yourself as a reputable professional, it can contribute then if you're engaging with the community, you're having conversations with people online, parang they know your interests and you talk about it. I will share a couple of examples for this para mas ma-visualize nyo siya. I will use my LinkedIn profile as an example, and let's parang i-pick natin, mag-nitpick tayo ng details. and see how you can apply this to your own LinkedIn profiles as well. I'm going for LinkedIn kasi parang it's the most used, and parang ang expectation din if you're a professional is you already have it. So sabay-sabay tayong mag assess kung ano ba talaga yung maganda or ano yung anatomy of a strong professional brand on LinkedIn. So when you open a LinkedIn profile, this is the first thing that you're going to see, yung banner, yung photo, yung name. And it has, again, it has to be accurate information. If there's any way that you can put an extra flavor to it, do so. So for my LinkedIn profile, I yung sa banner ko, I wanted to be attention grabbing, and I really want to stand out among other people that my recruiters, for example, or potential professional networks can see online. So gusto ko pagpasok nila sa LinkedIn profile ko, there's something different agad about it. So you can do that too at an attention grabbing banner. For me, because I've already developed my professional brand, meron na rin akong tagline. So I put that at the top of my LinkedIn profile. Some people would put quotes that really resonate with them as professionals. Nung nagsisimula ako, yung nilagay ko dyan picture ng turtle. Medyo intentional din siya, and at the same time maganda lang, gusto ko lang kasi hindi pa ako masyadong expert noon about building my professional brand. Pero yung reason nga nilagay ko siya because I remember I was trying to position myself as an eco-conscious, sustainable writer, parang ganon. So it still has meaning. So whatever you put there, make sure that you're doing it with intention. And then of course, high quality image. We'll talk more about this later on, yung visual look in general, but it will matter a lot if you have a high quality image there. And then updated basic information. People would like to know saan ka nagtatrabaho, where do you graduate. Usually yun yung nasa topmost part ng LinkedIn because that already gives people a sneak peek about your professional competencies. And again, there's another feature on LinkedIn na you can actually add like cards na to indicate that you're open to other opportunities. So for me, because I'm also a freelancer, nag-add ako ng ganun. So I put here na I'm open to work for freelancer writer roles, and I also provide services for brand consulting and social media marketing. So yun, that's all. That's only the top most part of your LinkedIn profile. Next bit is yung sa baba naman, professional experiences. The way that I see it, it has to be, parang I see LinkedIn as the only reference of truth for my professional experience. Parang ganun ko kasi siya pinrame. So I really want to update it on a on a regular basis. Wala na kasi ako personally, wala na akong ibang platforms that I use to showcase my professional profile. So as in nag-double down na ako sa LinkedIn, and you can do that too kasi very reliable naman yung LinkedIn, and it has features that will really help you flex your competencies. So dito sa professional experience section, so some of the tips or things that I think you should do and you should nail is having an updated professional experience. So keep track of all your professional experiences, make sure it's updated. Ako, kahit na mga freelance lang, kahit na contract work lang, I still add it here kasi it will help build your professional profile in a sense, di ba? Parang people will see you as a reliable person that they can rely on when it comes to delivering quality work because you're working with this and that. So update that. It will also matter na nandun talaga very clear yung indication kung saan ka nagtrabaho. Sometimes people can just take a look at the companies that you're a part with on your previous jobs, and minsan may impact na yun sa recruiter. And then if you want to take it further, you can also write brief descriptions of your role. So usually hindi natin to nalalagay sa CVs, 'di ba? Yung mga extensive details about our professional experience, hindi mo siya nalilista dun lahat. So, yung LinkedIn profile mo, yun yung purpose niya. So that pag nakita siya ng potential employer or a recruiter, they will have an idea beyond just the list. Kasi it's super easy to just say na nagtrabaho ka sa ganito and that, but for you to flesh out ano yung ginawa mo, ano yung impact mo, that's also an additional thing that can contribute to your professional brand. Another feature that you can take advantage of at LinkedIn is yung promotions. You can highlight yung pag-grow ng career mo in a specific company. So example nun is this. So for example, for this company, for a couple of months I started with a smaller role and then I grew into a more senior role. So people will see that as well. It's a great thing to put in there. Yung iba kasi parang nilalagay na lang nila yung most recent role nila. Pero building the story na nag-grow ka within the company and then you were able to get a promotion, that's also an additional impact to your professional brand. And then in this section, you can also add relevant links. So for example, for this specific experience that I have, I was writing blog content for a startup company and parang yung mindset ko dun is if a recruiter comes into my LinkedIn profile and I say na nagsusulat ako about this, I would want to drive him or her to the actual materials that I have done. So pwede ka rin maglagay ng relevant links sa ano mo, sa professional experience mo on LinkedIn. So that's just one additional section. Another na you can also leverage when it comes to beefing up your professional brand on LinkedIn is adding licenses and certifications. So meron tayong era, I'm not sure kung ganun din kayo, pero parang may era kami na nag-Coursera lang ng nag-Coursera, nag-take ng online courses during the pandemic, and we had parang a lot of courses, yung online course platforms, they also gave opportunities for people to get courses for free. So if you're one of the people who took advantage of that, this is the section on your professional profile on LinkedIn where you can put them. So you can always put them there, parang kumbaga i-house mo lang doon yung mga certifications mo. Pero if you want it to be more tailor fit, you can just add yung mga relevant trainings and certifications mo to your career. So for example, for me, because I'm a marketer, yung mga iniwan ko lang dito is yung relevant sa current na path ko when it comes to my career and hindi ko na sinama yung other courses na I've also took in the past. And then yun, aside from licenses and certifications, another segment or section that you can build on LinkedIn is yung project section. Actually, favorite ko to kasi parang this is a way for you to showcase your competencies and work na parang hindi nakakahon dun sa professional experience. So kasi sa professional experience, 'di ba, parang very generic siya. Parang lahat lang nakalista lang doon kung ano yung mga trabaho mo and ano yung role mo in each job. Pero sa projects kasi you have the opportunity to really showcase ano yung specific tasks or ano yung specific big milestones na ni-lead mo in your job. So yun, pwede dito yun. You can keep a track record of your projects and also add relevant links para you can drive people to the actual material on websites, on social media sites. So yun, pwede rin kayong mag-add ng projects. Another set of features that you can explore on LinkedIn, o diba? Ang dami na agad. And I think, bago ako mag-move on to the next, may side comment ako. I think nami-miss out to ng people when they go into LinkedIn, parang ang impression is ano lang siya, yung top banner and then professional experience and then school, ganun lang siya. Pero there are a lot of sections that can help you build that professional brand na kahit ito lang yung gamitin mong platform, it can say a lot about the brand that you're building as a professional. Okay, back to this. Some other features that you can explore on LinkedIn is yung recommendations part. So because I'm a freelancer, nagamit ko siya by asking a recommendation from a previous client. So magandang part siya ng professional profile nyo kasi 'di ba, it matters a lot to get feedback from others and get validation na this person is really doing quality work, he is good at what he do, 'di ba? So magandang part din siyang i-add sa professional profiles niyo. So for graduating students, you can do this as well. So it can be your kunyari internship superiors. Ask you sila to give you recommendations on LinkedIn, 'di ba? Or it can be an exchange of recommendations na parang supervisor, it would matter a lot if you can give me a recommendation on LinkedIn, and then I'll do the same too kasi there's also parang meron din dito mga categories na ano naman under dito parang I'm working naman under her management. So I also have feedback. So you can do something like that, mag-exchange ng recommendations on LinkedIn para ma-build pa yung professional profile nyo on that aspect. And then finally, there's also a section on publications. So for creative workers, pwede to, if you are writing, if you are creating graphic design work, pwede rin siyang i-link dito. If you are in the field of research, di ba, and you have publications, pwede nyo rin siyang ilagay dito. As for me, yung experience ko, parang may face dun sa pag-build ko ng professional brand ko na I want to position myself as a content writer. So, during that time, parang nilagay ko lang talaga lahat ng articles ko dito kahit na actually hindi siya best work because paano ko ba ma-show sa mga tao na writer ako? So I have to show that I am published in this publication, this and that. So yun yung strategy ko. I just have to keep on showing up in this area of my expertise, and I can do that by posting these things or showcasing these things in my professional profile. So yun, those are some features. I think meron pa yun. Yung sinabi ko kanina na engaging with your community, that also matters. If you already have connections sa LinkedIn, most likely mga ka-work mo din or mga previous co-workers or people na na entirely nahanap mo lang sa LinkedIn, it would be great to connect with them. So ako, from time to time, I congratulate people with their promotions. I congratulate people for having a specific milestone in their work. Kasi it's a way for me to connect with them. And later on, I know na I can leverage that for something, maybe an opportunity or anything that can help me scale up sa professional career ko. I also post about the new projects that I take part on. It's a practice that you can start implementing as well. No, so kunyari may mga projects kayo sa work na you're really proud of. Sometimes 'di ba hindi mo naman siya ma-share talaga on Facebook kasi nga iba yung nature ng platform doon. So you can really share it on LinkedIn, and most of the time, very appreciative din talaga yung mga tao. And at the same time, it's adding to your professional brand. So yun, before I move on to the next P in our model, I know some of you might wonder paano siya ginagawa for graduating students, 'di ba? Yung ganito ka-extensive na pag-build ng professional profile. What I'll say to that is that we all start somewhere, especially when building brands. Minsan nag-start ka talaga small. For me, yung example na ito, it's 5 years worth of professional experiences bago siya naging ganito. Kahit ako nang graduating ako, hindi ko pa alam yung ilalagay ko dito. Pero I hope na now that you know that there are specific features on LinkedIn na it goes beyond the professional experience section. So for example, you're a fresh graduate na wala pa naman talagang professional experience, you can add projects, 'di ba? Or you can take on courses while you're waiting to graduate and add mo siya as a credential in your certifications. So there are a lot of ways for you to beef up your professional brand kahit na graduating ka pa lang or fresh grad ka pa lang. Think of the things that you devote your passion, your skills, and your time in when you are an undergrad. And yun yung mga bagay na you can showcase kasi dun mo ginamit or dun na-hone yung competencies and skills mo even before ka pa mag-embark into the professional space. So yeah, that's something that I can share as well. So that's the first part. So yun yung first P natin, platform. We can now move on to the second, which is the portfolio. So it's also an aspect of a strong professional brand. Because when you're trying to build a strong professional brand, it would be best to showcase your best works in the best way possible. So you already have a professional profile working in your favor. 'Di ba? When people look for you online, yun yung possibly na makikita nila. So if you go into the next stage and if they ask about your best works, they want to see it, you should be prepared to when that time comes. So here are some tools that you can use in building your portfolio. So one is professional websites. So we have platforms like Wix, Weebly, WordPress, and Canva. You can also publish your designs as websites already, and you can share the link to your recruiter, for example. But the gist is these websites, professional websites, aim to showcase your professional brand, and it allows you to easily update it whenever you get kunyari you get a new role, you get promotions, pero nandyan lang siya. It's something that people can refer to when they want to know more about your professional brand. It's best for career starters kasi you will establish your professional brand early on, and also career builders. Pag may na establish ka na specific professional brand for yourself, having a professional website adds to that professional branding, di ba? Na meron talagang space where your professional brand shines in that space that you own for yourself. Um, I heard insights from my friends na parang even in the field of research and academe sa abroad, some people would have professional websites. They would have professional websites as scientists, as foresters, as agriculturists. Kasi yun talaga yung parang that will showcase their work. That will showcase yung mga publications, yung projects, yung research na nagawa nila in one space. So you can do that for yourself as well as you build your career. Yung professional website, hindi lang siya pang creative workers, like kunyari mga designers, videographers, writers. You can also do one for yourself and parang find a positioning that will establish you as the professional that you are today. So that's one. And then another tool, some of the tools that you can also use in building your portfolio are online portfolio sites. So if hindi ka masyadong skilled in creating a professional website on your own, hindi pa ganun kahon yung skill mo with that, there are online portfolio sites in which mas madali siyang gawin. You're just inputting the information and siya na yung gagawa for you. So creative workers can do this. So kunyari you're a writer, yung mga DevCom students natin who have taken part in a lot of creative projects during their undergrad, you can curate and showcase your best work in these platforms. So we have here Journal Portfolio, Clippings.me, Substack. These are all free platforms in which you can showcase your work. So that's one. Oh, before that, I also recognize that some professional brands also use social networking sites as their portfolio. So kunyari photographers, designers, they would use Instagram, or they would have an art account on Facebook, diba, to showcase their work. That's also one thing that you can do. But the whole idea is your work has to be out there. It has to be easily accessible. Because you are starting to position yourself as a reputable professional, diba? You're saying na you're this. You're saying na, for example, you're saying na you're a marketer. How can you prove that if you're not able to show your work? And how can you prove the quality of your work if you can't showcase it? So it would matter a lot na parang tandem talaga yung profile and portfolio mo, especially if it's relevant to your industry. So that, and then some of the best practices that you can implement when building your portfolio. Number one, keep track of your professional experiences to the T. As in, ilista nyo talaga siya. I think yun yung mistake ko when I was starting out. Parang may mga experiences or projects ako na hindi ko na maalala. Wala na akong proof na ginawa ko yon. Pero it felt like important yon. Naka-contribute talaga yun sa personal brand ko. So I missed out on that. So if I were you, lista nyo talaga sila, devote time na parang ito yung ginawa ko sa work. I feel like this contributed to my skills and this contributed to the company. So that's something that you can add to your portfolio. Also, save images, videos, or screenshots for proof. We have to accept na the world today is visual na, 'di ba? Parang if you just write, kunyari, if it's just a chunk of text that you participated in this research center for experience, minsan hindi siya ganun ka-appealing as opposed to seeing a photo of it or seeing you in action. So those are some aspects that you should consider in building your portfolio as well. Also, driving your audience to relevant links. So if your works are live in a specific website or a social media account, you can also drive them to there para nakita talaga na okay, legit tong professional na to and she's really doing her work. And then finally, tailor fit your featured works to your professional brand. So, naas na to ng friend ko kanina na parang, what if for career shifters specifically, what if nag-start ka with X career path? So, kunyari, microbiologist talaga yung career path mo. Pero, down the road, parang you shifted to a very different industry, kunyari financial advising, and you feel like yun talaga yung calling mo. How do you create a portfolio or an online presence or a professional brand for that? What I'd say is tailor fit. Iti-tailor fit mo siya dun sa gusto mong professional brand na i-showcase. So maybe at this time in your career, hindi ganun ka-relevant yung pagiging microbiologist and you really want to accelerate your career path as a financial advisor, it does not mean na hindi na nagmamatter yung experience mo as a microbiologist. It just needs to be very cohesive lang. So in the meantime, you can self-market yourself as that financial advisor, that successful financial advisor that you are. Again, it's about tailor fitting, understanding who you are as a professional brand, and complementing that with information and with proof that will position you as a reputable professional. So here in this part, I will share a couple of examples lang on how you can create your portfolios. So wait, I will open this lang po. So for this example, this is my portfolio, yung generic portfolio ko when I was starting out and kahit ngayon yun pa rin yung nagagamit ko. So I use Journal Portfolio for this. You will see here in the website na very easy siya. Very easy ko siya nagawa. Hindi ko kailangan gumawa ng website, but at the same time I have to keep specific elements that will connect to my brand. So for example, in this part here, yung pag-open mo ng portfolio ko, yung site, there's my tagline. You have seen this in my profile, in my LinkedIn profile as well, and I wanted to be consistent about that. I categorized my works depending on the career path that I have right now. So before, yung works ko dito just focused on feature writing, for example. Pero when I transitioned into digital marketing, I figured na kailangan ko ring i-beef up yung pag-showcase ng experiences ko when it comes to, for example, social media strategy. So I added those two, so you can do the same with your portfolios as well. It can be as simple as that. Hindi siya kailangang sobrang complicated. You just have to showcase your best works, drive people to relevant links, katulad ng sinabi natin kanina. And then, I had this specific experience before na I already have this generic portfolio, pero in order for me to land a job, I created a customized / tailor fit portfolio for a specific application. So I would like to show that to you as well. So yung context dito is parang kailangan ko siya gawin because I was already briefed na in the interview you will be asked to show your best works. Initially I thought okay na yung generic ko na portfolio, pero I really wanted to get the job. So I made the extra effort and parang inalign ko yung best examples here dun sa what's required from the job description. So I totally created a new I created a totally new website using Canva in order to build this portfolio. Again, very consistent. The tagline is still there. I think it's a key brand feature for my professional brand, so I always keep it there. And then a short professional background, and then my best work. Yung sinabi ko nang ito na yung ipapakita ko. Specifically for this job application, kaya ko kailangan mag-tailor fit is because may mga works ako na hindi ko pwedeng i-own totally na akin lang siya because I do that with a partner agency. So I can't put that on my publicly available portfolio. Pero there are specific works na I was involved in doing na gusto kong ipakita during that interview. So I created this portfolio. So some visual case studies, some branding projects that I did together with a partner agency na I feel like kung hindi ko to ginawa, yung specific na portfolio na to for that specific job, feeling ko hindi ko ma-articulate yung quality ng work na I can deliver through days. Baka malimit lang sila dun sa 4 na social media strategies or sa ilang pieces ng feature writing na nandun sa generic portfolio ko. So I had to do that. So yeah, you can explore that too. Again, depende talaga siya sa goals nyo. And lahat naman tayo, di ba, we want to attain our dream job. So you have to do the extra work din talaga and be creative about how you present yourself and how you showcase your best work. So that's portfolio for you. We'll move on to the third component of our professional branding, which is passion. So when we talk about passion, we want to highlight the human side of your professional brand. So di ba we started with having an online profile na people can easily refer to when they're interested to know more about you in a professional professional wise. That's what they're going to refer to. And then you have your portfolio to showcase your work. Pero minsan, I'd like to remind like professional brand owners na you are not reduced to those lists of professional experiences or those projects that you've taken part in. Hindi lang yun yung kayo as a professional brand. So some recruiters might find it valuable or siguro your professional networks might find it valuable kung ano yung human side mo beyond work. So this is something that you can do as well. Some of the best practices that you can do when balancing personal with professional in building your brand is number 1, share stories that show your personality beyond work. What do you do beyond work that's still in the context of your professional arena? What are the advocacies that you are passionate about that are relevant to what you do? Diba? What are the passion projects that you do beyond your 9 to 5 full-time job? You can also share about those things. And it adds to your professional brand kasi parang may additional layer siya na hindi lang siya yung label na yan. Hindi lang siya digital marketer. There's more to that individual. We're all it's a multifaceted individual that they're seeing. And that adds to your impact, that adds to your influence as well as a professional brand. I will share a couple of examples that I have done in the past in relation to this component in our model. So 2 years ago, on LinkedIn, I was actively sharing about a passion project that I do with my friends. It was a very interesting experience for me coming up with a potential organization. So we posted about it, and then yung maganda dun is it actually opened an opportunity for us. We found a designer that we can partner with in the organization through LinkedIn kasi nakita niya yung mga posts namin recently on LinkedIn. So that's something that you guys can do, that you can do too. Hindi lang siya din about what you do at work, what are the other things that you do? What are the volunteer initiatives that you take part in? That will matter a lot too in building your professional brand. Another thing that I shared back when I was super active on LinkedIn, hindi na ako ganun ka-regular ngayon, pero there was a time na I really wanted to devote time and effort to it. So before, I was also sharing reflections. That's also a human side to your professional brand. So for this specific example, these are photos taken from a vinyl store in Parañaque. Um, that I visited in order to interview yung may-ari for a write-up for Playboy. So for me, it was such a magical experience in my career na parang, oh my God, ito na yung pangarap ko before na I'm I'm meeting new people, I'm interviewing them for a piece that will be published on print. When I was an undergrad, hindi ko alam na mangyayari pala talaga yon. But it was such a milestone for me, and I wanted to capture it, and I wanted to share it with my professional network too in a very genuine manner. And you can do that, and that's something that you can do too. So reflections, yung mga realizations nyo with your work, it's something that you can share on a platform such as LinkedIn. And then finally, there's a time that I was also sharing vulnerabilities on a professional networking site. But I feel like it was a necessary part of my career growth as well. So back in 2020, when I went back from my maternity leave, um, that year, it was a very surprising experience for me, very emotional experience na magbalik sa work with a new business. There's a human that's relying on you for nutrition, for life, diba? It was a very unique experience na hindi ko naman may imagine na may experience ko, and I can't help writing about it. And when I wrote about it, I actually posted the article on LinkedIn, and parang people were inspired about it na parang these are some of the discussion, ito yung mga hindi na discuss online about, for example, working moms at home. So it's still in the context. The vulnerability is still in the context of my professional space. And I feel like it matters to share it because it does not only share my story, but it also empowers people to share yung stories nila when they relate with you. So those things, yung human aspect na yun in your personal brand, you can share that on professional networking sites too. So that's it, I think, for passion. We can move on now to the fourth P in our model, which is privacy. So in passion, we mentioned that there's a sense or there's an aspect of your personal life that you can mesh together in your professional life. Di ba? May mga relevant experience din talaga tayo in our personal lives na other people in our professional space can take inspiration from. So yun yung discuss natin sa passion part. Now sa privacy part, dito naman we have to be very clear. Kahit pa open yung space for us to share, we have to still establish a sense of privacy and a clear separation from our personal lives. I think ito yung kind of controversial when it comes to being really active on professional networking sites kasi 'di ba parang may mga specific topics na other people would think hindi yan pang LinkedIn, pang Facebook lang yan, ganun. Pero again, it's still a matter of your prerogative, 'di ba? What's personal and professional content for you? Pero I would like to remind you guys na during those times na parang hindi ka sure if it's professional or personal content, but you think it would add to your professional brand, these are some of the considerations that you can think about. So number one, does this add value to my brand? Kapag ba pinost ko to, it will help position me dun sa brand that I'm building. Number two, is it relevant to my audience? I think the most important part of it, if my audience sees this, how does it relate to them? How will they resonate to it? If it's a private matter, why am I posting it on, or if it's a personal matter, why am I posting it in this platform where I have this specific audience. So think about that. Is this the image that I want my professional network to see? Let's face it, there's a there's a very clear line kung ano ba talaga yung pang professional and personal. And all of us have to learn that na there are specific stories na pang personal lang talaga. So I like to give an example using this quick diagram. So I think I've nailed it in the past 5 years that I'm trying to build my activity on LinkedIn. So some of the stories that I will share in my professional spaces would be, for example, this headshot. I think I would not usually use it sa personal. Mas, di ba, mas ano tayo, mas wacky, ganyan. Hindi siya ganito ka-rigid, kahit na medyo may appeal naman siya. Hindi siya ganito ka-serious when it comes to your personal accounts. Mas pang-professional talaga siya. Other stories that I've shared in the past is on my professional account is kunyari kapag nakakakuha ako ng certifications sa mga platforms that I use as a marketer. That's something that I can openly share in my professional space. Pero pag share ko siya sa Facebook, hindi ko sure if it would matter to my audience there. And then some of the updates when we were doing the classroom, it was such a fun time. So we were sharing that with our professional audience as well. When I landed my dream job, it's something that I wanted to celebrate with my professional network too. I even tagged my previous mentors, thank them, and you would know naman kasi if it's the right habit, you will see then how other people behave in that professional space. So it's something that you can take inspiration from or emulate. So these are the types of content that you will usually see in your professional space, diba? And it's totally different on what you see in your personal accounts. So for me, for example, in my personal accounts, I would post memes. I would post yung mga OMG games. I would post my obsession with Joseph Quinn because I know that in this audience, meron akong mga fellow friends na are equally obsessed with him. I would post family photos. Diba? There is a very clear line on what professional content on how professional content looks like and how personal content looks like. So we have to understand that there are some topics na medyo in between siya. So for example, political things, our sentiments about the society, 'di ba? Minsan controversial siya, pero that's your prerogative, 'di ba? At the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, on brand ba to? Does this align with my values as a professional brand? Does this show the ethos of my brand? Does it showcase yung values nga na I want to build for my brand? So, yun. Some of the best practices when you're trying to set boundaries between your professional brand and your personal accounts or personal brand. So number one, check on your social media privacy settings. I think this is one of the first few steps that I made when I started to build my professional online presence. Naka-private na yung Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram ko. Mainly because I don't really consider them as a professional space for me. It's a space for family and friends, family updates, ganon. And ayun nga, yung pagpo-post ko ng memes, yung pagpo-post natin ng jokes online, and sometimes sentiments too. So I did not want my professional network to see that. Not because I'm hiding something or anything, but because I don't deem it necessary for the professional brand that I am building. And again, of course, always remember to think before you post and be accountable of your actions online. I know that we have this illusion na there's freedom of speech online. We're all free to share our sentiments. Pero we have to be accountable of that, of those actions, of those behavior na we practice online. So one example of this is, for example, on your personal accounts, you're calling out company X about this and that issue. And then dun sa professional account mo, you're chasing them for a job in their company. There's already a mismatch in the values, diba? So we have to be consistent about that, even though there's a separation. You have to be consistent with how you package yourself as a professional brand and really understand kung ano ba yung pang personal lang. So, yun. So that's the fourth one. We're now moving on to the last part or the last component in our professional branding, which is personality. This is actually my favorite, so I saved it for the last part. So if you want to take it further, di ba, you have a professional online profile na, you have your portfolio, you consistently share stories about your individuality and share your passions, and then you have a clear definition kung ano lang yung klase ng professional content that you will share with people. If you want to take that further and really build your professional brand, you can also define its features, as in its visual features, the way you sound, the way you look online. You can build on that too. So there are specific elements that we'll go through here, but I'd like to use these as an example lang. So first example is um crafting a punchy title for your profession. So usually, di ba, on LinkedIn, parang it's your name, or on other networking sites, it's your name and then your job title. Kunyari, digital marketer. How do you stand out that way? If may mga ibang digital marketers, may ibang researchers then that are within that community. So it can help if you can think of a way to package yourself with words, di ba? For me, yung example ko dito is yung story first digital marketer. I would always use that, especially dito sa later part ng career ko, when I already know na parang marketing is something that I'd like to pursue, but at the same time, I don't want to turn my back on yung roots ko talaga, which is creating stories, creating content. So whenever I introduce myself in professional spaces, I would always say that I'm a story first digital marketer. That's how I can differentiate myself from the other digital marketers that are in this space. So you can think about these two for your professional brand. Another example here is the conservation conversationalist. So one of my friends, he is an aspiring conservationist. And once he shared with me na parang, I think yung what differentiates me from other conservationists is that I want to parang laymanize, I want to take the conversation about conservation to the grassroots communities. And I want to involve the communities around conservation areas in these conversations. And daming conservation conversation, pero you get the point, parang it's a brand that's very unique to him as a conservationist, di ba? Parang taking conservation conversations further rather than just studying about it. So, yun pa lang, it already has an impact. Imagine, kunyari nag-apply ka sa scholarships, and the panel will see a lot of essays that I am the best fit for this, or you apply for a job and then I am the best fit for this because this and that. And then you as a recruiter see this brand na parang, oh, he knows what he is as a brand. Diba? He knows how to differentiate himself from this sea of applicants that I have here in my hands. So that's one thing that you can do too. All other examples that I found online is this term Reimagineer. Um, so I think he is a social worker, and yung gist ng work niya is that he goes into underserved communities, and then especially for children, parang yung goal niya is to build their dreams and help them achieve their dreams by upskilling them, opening educational opportunities for them. So he calls himself a dream engineer. And pinagsama niya lang yung dalawang words together, and his brand is like a dream engineer. So that's one. And then finally, Doctor to the Barrios and Beyond. So I also found this online. She's a young doctor na napupunta sa far-flung communities, Doctor to the Barrios in a nutshell. Pero what's different about her experience is as in super far-flung communities yung na-reach niya. And it feels like sometimes she goes beyond just being a doctor. She becomes a community leader. She educates people about healthcare and how they can embed a healthy lifestyle into their lives. Parang So yun yung branding niya. She's a doctor to the barrios and beyond. And she positions herself that way. So you can think of the same way. If you can think of your brand in the same way, parang if there is a specific term, a specific set of keywords that will help people envision you more and help you stand out, that would matter a lot. So for me, siguro yung exercise na pwede natin gawin, think of your role. Ito, a quick exercise ako dito. Think of your role, and think of a description, a unique description that parang is unique to you. Ganon, a description that is unique to you when you take on this role, diba? So if you guys want to participate, please do so. I will check on the Facebook comments, pero just a quick exercise. So share your profession or the profession you're aiming for in emojis. And then i-tandem nyo siya with a short phrase, hindi kailangang refine pa, pero at least we have something to start with na you think captures your essence as a professional. For graduating students or fresh grads, kung wala pang as in job, you can also gamitin nyo yung job or profession that you're aiming for. So if you guys can drop your responses in the comments, we'd love to see them. So for example, ito, teacher. So teacher, some emojis na relates with school, but I think yung determining qualifier the teacher here is her heart. So you can create a tagline that goes like teacher with a heart, or a punchy title like teacher with a heart. Or another example is this one. So for a forester, some of the emojis that really help represent her profession is kunyari yung fist up, megaphone, trees, and then green gloves. So this positions her as a fierce forester. So very clear other foresters in the industry. So it's something that you can practice too. Think about your profession. Think about a unique description na ikaw, and use that as a tagline or a title. Use that as your title in your professional profiles. So that's one aspect of your personality as a professional brand. Second aspect is your colors. So if you're really devoted to building an online brand, of course, visual na lahat. You have to stand out. You can also toy with the idea of having a color palette. So for me, I wanted to be seen as vibrant, young, and passionate. So I choose these colors, and I see to it na consistent ako in using it in my materials. So you would see it in my professional profiles, you would see it sa link, you would see it sa CV ko. Kahit yung CV ko na printed, I also use these colors as at for brand recall din, 'di ba? Now when they see these colors, they might think of you, and at the same time, it builds kasi a vibe of who you are as a professional. So bright pops of color, parang it symbolizes my professional brand as vibrant, young, and passionate. And if you compare that to these set of colors, diba? Gray, dark greens, light golds, blacks, and whites. Iba rin yung impact niya, iba rin yung vibe niya visually. You can attribute sleek, reliable, and straightforward to this set of color palette. So it would matter too. So think of the colors that you use in your professional profiles if you really want to refine your brand. So may psychology of color talaga sa marketing. So you can refer to this, you can search about it online. What do you think yung character na ma-imbibe mo using the colors for your brand? So that, and then finally, your public image. Your public image also matters. So yung headshots mo, kanina na-mention natin na your photos have to be consistent and the many platforms that you use. So para may easy recall sila. Kasi sa totoo lang, di ba, in the professional networking space, most likely yung first interaction mo with people there, strangers sila. You don't you might not see them online. Ay, you might not see them in real life pa. Pero there are certain connections kasi that can thrive online, especially for those kinds of platforms. So um also consider na your public image, your headshots there matter too. So what vibe do you want to project through these public images? So usually, 'di ba, sa mga young professionals who are in the corporate world, yan, usually ganito yung mga photos natin, more more di naman serious, pero more on the safe side of things. Pero don't be limited to this kind of approach as well. Um, you can also approach this in a very creative manner. So depending on your industry, depending on how you want other people to perceive you as a professional, you can do something like this too. So mas colorful. If you're in the fashion industry, it will make sense to have a public image na mas ganito as opposed to like a CEO, a boss type image, 'di ba? So think about that public image too and understand how that can align with the professional brand that you are building for yourself. So some of the best practices that you can do so that you let your personality shine online. Number one, be authentic. 'Di ba? It's not, hindi siya, yung building a professional online presence, hindi naman siya copy-paste lang with others talaga. It's also an opportunity for you to showcase your authenticity. Be intentional with the details. Yung banner sa ibabaw ng LinkedIn, what should it be and why it should be that way? Those things, those small elements contribute to how you position yourself as a professional brand and tell a story. Kagaya nung sinabi natin earlier, your taglines, your titles, your colors, it will help you tell a story of how you want yourself to be seen by other people in your professional network. May quick kwento ako dito, specifically for your public image. When I graduated in 2017, the only professional photo that I have is this, yung sablay photo ko. Tapos, yun yung ginagamit ko sa lahat ng professional profiles ko. But, and then later on in my career, parang it felt like hindi na siya relevant. Parang I'm not in the academe, I'm not a fresh grad anymore. I've been with other companies, pero ito pa rin yung photo ko. So I made a conscious effort to change that up. So recently, we created this portrait for my professional profiles, just to give you an example. And di ba, parang just that public image, may impact na siya agad between these two. Just looking at the photo, just trying to understand how you present yourself in photos. So meron na agad siyang impact. So don't miss out on that as well. Anong industry ka ba? Parang how do other people in your industry package themselves with their public images? You have to understand that as well so that very holistic talaga yung brand na i-build mo for yourself na magko-connect siya together in building that message that you want to create. So yun. Those are the 5 P's of a strong professional brand. Thank you so much dun sa mga sumali sa emoji game. Thank you po. Pero we'll get back to that later on. Pero that's, I think, that I should be wrapping up this na. So these are the 5 P's for your strong professional brand. Again, the platform, portfolio, passion, privacy, and personality. So when you think you're ready to start building your professional brand, make sure that these are your top 5 priorities. Understand kung saang platform ka best na mag-exist depending on your goals. Showcase your best works through a portfolio. Inject a human side to your brand by sharing personal stories that are relevant to your professional space. Understand that what professional content looks like and how it separates from your personal content, and add a flair to your personality online, diba? Explore colors, explore images, explore visual cues that will help you stand out amongst, for example, applicants or your professional space. Because if you nail this, there's no doubt that you will reap the benefits of building a strong professional brand. You will make a good impression for recruiters, for potential client partners. If you're in freelancing, you will establish your competencies clearly even before you have a conversation with them, diba? With a professional profile, na-establish mo na agad na I'm good with this. And if you have a follow-up question, we can talk about that. We can stand out from a sea of applicants for our graduating students. Kunyari, in a sea of black and white resumes, yung mga traditional resumes that you see, and then you stand out because you have a clear color palette, diba? You have you package your CV in a way that aligns with your professional brand. That will help you stand out from your competitors and possibly get your dream job. And then also, it will attract opportunities. As I've mentioned earlier, building a strong professional brand, mas long-term siya, mas sustainable siya. What you do today, diba, it will constantly be updated and it will attract opportunities if open siya for access to other people so they can tap you for creative projects because they can easily know na expert ka in this field. They can invite you, for example, to speaking engagements kasi alam nila na you have expertise on this or you have experience on this. So those are the benefits that you can get from building a strong professional brand. Okay, so I'd like to wrap up this discussion with this quote. People may not remember exactly what you did or what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel. So again, it's about building a holistic brand. Parang we have to recognize na in this era, di ba, super saturated na sa content online, yung mga insights mo, yung mga stories mo, parang it can easily be overwritten by other people's stories. Pero if you have a strong brand, if you have a cohesive brand, people will not only remember you about what you said, di ba, or what you did. Hindi lang siya about remembering you, saan ka nagtatrabaho, anong projects mo recently, or what are your thoughts on this. Or at the end of the day, you will be remembered by how you make them feel. So kagaya ng example natin kanina, di ba, parang if in a sea of resumes, you stand out, that recruiter might not remember your name agad-agad, pero they will remember the feeling na may wow moment sila when interacting with your professional brand. So that's something that we can all take away from this session. So it's still about being human and understanding how you can relate with other people as you build your professional brand. So I challenge you na take action with whatever we have learned from today's session. I know it's a lot of components and tips and elements, but it will help if as early as now, diba, fresh pa yung learnings, you already sit down and make time to get started with your brand revamp. So one first step that you guys can do is get started with LinkedIn. Diba? I-refurbish nyo na yung professional brand nyo doon. Change your banners, think of a punchy title, explore the other features that you haven't explored yet. For graduating students, pag wala pa kayong malagay na professional experience, you can list down your projects there, and pag nahanap kayo na recruiters online, that will still help in building a great impression about you and your experience and your potential to join them in their company. So yun, get started with your LinkedIn revamp, make time siguro this weekend to sit down and do the work in building your professional brand. And I'm pretty sure na it's going to be a long-term investment for your career growth. So that's it for me. Thank you guys for listening. And I think we're opening the floor to questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Hannah. Jam-packed of lessons and learnings and tips and strategies from the first slide to the last slide for those 5 P's. Sino mga hindi mo bumitaw dyan? Ang dami nating natutunan, sobra. Actually, when I was thinking of a speaker for this, when I opened Hannah's LinkedIn, I said, I have to invite her. Because
may meme yan ate, may meme yan na parang, bakit ka mapipressure sa mga sa mga sexy girls, sa mga beautiful girls on Instagram, pumunta ka lang sa LinkedIn, mape-pressure ka sa mga tao who have multiple degrees, multiple professional experiences. So, and minsan hindi rin siya talaga ganun ka, pero minsan it's really just a matter of how they built nga their professional brand. So it's very important po talaga.
Yes. And when I see your LinkedIn nga, sabi ko, wow, this would be a great help for graduating students to learn this skill of branding, how to package yourself professionally online. And hindi lang yun parang may impact talaga Makita mo pa lang, OMG, alam niya yung ginagawa niya. Okay, yun yung feeling na nakita ko dun sa profile ni Hannah. And super proud ate here. I won't hide that. Hannah was actually part of Team LRC. She helped with a lot of our programs and projects here in LRC. So super proud ate here. And Sir Chico is also in FB Live. Love you, Hannah. Shout out to Joms, to Justin, who are also watching. Nahiya daw yung LinkedIn niya.
Oo nga. Update mo na yan.
Actually, sir, I also updated my LinkedIn last night because of this. So, habang si Hannah nag-update din ako sa LinkedIn ko. But anyway, guys, if you have questions, ayun, nandito pa si Hannah. Please feel free to comment down your questions for Hannah para matulungan niya pa tayo, no? Sabi ni Dara, tama po Ma'am Hannah, had the urge to organize my LinkedIn profile and my portfolio as well because of today. Same.
Good
Same.
job.
Yeah. So if you have questions, please. Ayan, kaloka daw, di ba?
Kaloka. Insights
Oh.
insights, sir.
Ayan si Sir Basilo. I was so inspired to update my LinkedIn. Thank you, Miss Hannah. Same, sir. Same. Kasi if you see sa LinkedIn, nandun yung lahat ng mga professionals. They are really updated there sa LinkedIn. And when I see my LinkedIn, parang hindi ko pa nga nalagay yung mga same sentiment na parang hindi ko na maalala yung mga projects ko before na hindi ko siya na-capture. So sayang. So for those who are graduating, take that to heart, yung advice ni Miss Hannah to compile everything sa isang portfolio. Ayan, meron na tayong query, Miss Hannah, from Justin. So what about the factor of politics? Does our political affiliation affect our professional branding?
Yung perspective ko about that, ate, is always go back to your why. Parang yung as in yung core mo as a professional brand. If you think that topic resonates with your brand, parang go all out about it. And just be responsible siguro about what you're posting online about it. So usually, I know na parang controversial talaga siya. Some people on LinkedIn would call you out na parang this is not something that you will post on LinkedIn. Pero there's also the aspect of it na parang yung political stance ko or your sentiments ko about politics relates so much on the work that I do. So it's relevant to me and my profession. And if it's something that really defines your core, the core of your professional brand, give that to yourself, I will say. But be responsible on how you react to people kasi for sure, there will be a discussion about it. So keep it healthy, be accountable with what you have said, and also be open to having intelligent conversations about it rather than magbardagulan tayo on LinkedIn. So let's not do that.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Justin. I actually came across something like that sa LinkedIn lang, ito lang, from Simon Sinek ba? Tama?
Yeah.
Parang may sinabi siyang, businesses or companies hire based on attitude, not skills. So, makita mo dun sa baba, yung mga comments, may nagdi-disagree, may nag-agree, but it's actually an intelligent discussion. Yung comments nila hindi, I don't agree with that, yeah. Pero, binibigay nila yung points. Tapos, they respect that. So, tama si Hannah. And si Sir Chico, mayroon siyang question.
Sir, ano ba yan?
Ano ba yan, sir? Pero anyway, I take that as identity performance. Not sure if you mentioned, but how do you segmentize or partition your identity or brands online, given the wide range of platforms?
Thank you. Ang ganda ng question, sir. So, I think, yun nga, balik tayo dun sa aspect of your professional brand and knowing your audience, picking your platform. So for example, I get it, kunyari yung sa experience ni Sir Chico, sabi niya hindi ganun masyadong updated yung LinkedIn niya. Pero, maano pa rin sa parang beefed up pa rin yung professional experience niya. There's no doubt. Kasi he has a different platform. So maybe mas responsive yung people on Facebook, yung professional networks niya, they see him on Facebook more, or they see him sa speaking engagements that he does online. So okay lang din yun. Yun nga, kaya that's the first part of our model eh. You have to pick a platform that will serve the purpose kung bakit ka nagbe-build ng professional brand. So for example, kunyari, you can have different personas pero at the end of the day connected pa rin sila. So on LinkedIn, syempre you're talking to executives, to people in managerial positions na as in professional talaga yung vibe to that. Pero if you want to complement that with a TikTok persona, 'di ba? Ngayon lawyers are on TikTok, teachers are on TikTok, and they are able to help people in those platforms. That's an opportunity for you to grab as well.
Nurses, doctors, they are all there sa TikTok. Even yung mga nagtuturo ng language, they're on TikTok. Yeah. So sir, ayan, sir pa rin. If you were to create my brand, how would you brand me?
Ano ba yan? May bayad yan, sir.
Mag-consult ka daw, sir, ng one-on-one. Wag ganyan.
Oo, workshop.
Sir, sige, sir. We will request Hannah to do a workshop for us. For that. Ako, Hannah, may personal ako na question that would resonate to me. When you started ba, alam mo na yung brand mo or alam mo na yung direction mo, or were there a moment na medyo lito ka pa? Kasi like, for example, if you're a jack of all trades, you do all of these things and you don't know what to zero in, what brand you're gonna zero in, like for our graduating students maybe as well. Ano yung step na dapat gawin so that you could actually nail it, yung talagang mahanap mo yung tunay na brand mo?
Yeah. Ako po, honestly, when I was starting, ganun din ako. Parang pagdadaanan mo talaga siya, lalo na during our time, wala na mga ganitong sessions masyado and you don't really have access to trainings like this masyado. So ako po nung una nangapa talaga ako. Pero I think yung unique din sa experience ko po is when I got out of the university, parang very clear na po ako sa kung anong job yung gusto ko. So gusto kong magsulat. So during that time, I was positioning myself as a writer, or I was finding opportunities for me na makapagsulat anywhere para lang ma-build yung portfolio ko. So yun po, pwede po yung gawin, or parang you take off from the set of experiences that you have from the university. So 'di ba, I know it can be parang very very insignificant yung mga essays na sinulat mo during your undergrad, yung research ganyan sa mga specific na subjects. Pero kasi yun yung mga bagay na you can take from the university na you can bring to the table kapag nagsisimula ka pa lang. So maybe yung advice ko po doon, parang really parang take the effort to assess kung ano talaga yung career na you want. Kagaya po nung simula ako, writer, pero hindi ko naman in-expect na I will transition into digital marketing. So later on na rin po ako nag-transition to that. Pero when I was beginning, I was really motivated na people will see me as a writer. So those are the efforts that I do when it comes to building my professional brand. So yun. Hanapin nyo lang yung why. Sabi nga ni Simon Sinek, find your why. And yun yung babalikan nyo lagi as professionals.
Alright. So same with with tawag dito, career builders, no? Kasi may iba na hindi pa rin talaga na zero in sa ano. And we have two questions here. First muna kay Emmanuel, and then we'll go to Sir Basil's question. Sabi ni Emmanuel, are there certain professions or areas wherein TikTok will not work?
Yeah. Interesting. For me, dahil nasa field ako ng social media, I would say the possibilities are endless. Di ba, we've been surprised with the potential of TikTok na even lawyers, nandun sila, nag-share ng advice. I feel like, there's a particular kapal ng muka na you have to bring on TikTok kasi iba talaga yung nature ng platform. And hindi rin parang may niche audience ka na kailangan talagang ma-target in order for you to resonate with them. So feeling ko, kasi ganun din yung algorithm ng TikTok, di ba? Kung ano yung kinokonsume na content mo, yun yung lagi mong nakikita. So hindi naman medyo specific yung algorithm niya. So kunyari, you're a lawyer on TikTok, you will show up dun sa mga people who are interested in the topics that you will talk about. So I feel like there are no um there are no limits sa kung ano man yung pwede mong i-bring sa TikTok. You just have to nail yung understanding of how the platform works. And yun nga, may persona kasi on TikTok. It's not just like mag-take ka lang ng video. Minsan hindi siya talaga nag-work if you want to scale up on TikTok. You have to bring a persona with you na will relate to your audience.
All right. I hope that answers your question, Emmanuel. So the possibilities are endless. Malaman mo lang talaga yung audience mo. Sabi nga ni Hannah, who are your audience and what is your why? Okay. Now let's move with the question of Sir Basil. If you may open your camera and
I pwedeng
okay.
sige
No worries po, sir. No worries, sir.
Sorry. I'm in another meeting. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you mentioned earlier, Miss Hannah, about iba having okay, so you have multiple presences in different social media sites, ganyan. But at the end of the day, they have to be parang iisa lang or they have to be connected. What do you do or what do you advise for halimbawa, let's say for example, kasi for me, like I have a clothing brand, ganyan. So my stats on Instagram and Facebook are good. And in fact, all of the business inquiries are, coming from Instagram or from Facebook, ganyan, my Facebook page. However, paano yung Twitter? Twitter has always been lagging, and I don't know what to do with that. Do you have any advice, or do you think should I just remove Twitter altogether? Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that question. Parang natanong din siya ni Ate She kanina during
Yeah.
our thing, parang how do you make sure that on all platforms successful ka? From a marketer's perspective, I would say na be present in all platforms. Pero in each platform, you have to be clear with your strategy. Kasi yun nga, iba-iba talaga yung audience mo doon. So kunyari yung sa experience mo na sa Instagram ka nag-hit, baka yun talaga yung funnel mo. Medyo marketing stuff na siya. Baka dun talaga yung entry point ng mga people who will engage with your brand. 'Di ba? Pero on Twitter, hindi ka man doon nakakakuha ng mga leads, pero it still helps to establish your brand in a particular platform. So pwede mong yung strategy mo doon, pwede mo siyang i-diversify or parang mag-allocate ka ng resources wisely. So now that you know na powerful ka on Instagram, use that to parang leverage that to scale up your brand in that platform. Or baka this time you might lie low on Twitter kasi wala masyado, or you can be just consistent there, just post there until you find your groove there. Pero again, ayun, feeling ko kasi common misconception siya na what works in one platform will work for everything, both in professional brands and kahit yung mga kunyari business brands, hindi talaga siya ganun. So you have to be precise about it kung paano ka nag-strategize and parang take advantage of those platforms that work in your favor. So kung Instagram, okay naman pala, there's nothing to fix there. You can develop it lang. So yun, pwede yung ganon. Diversify your approaches in different platforms. And if you have to prioritize one, do so.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Meron pa ba? May question pa habang may siguro isa na lang. Meron pa bang gustong magtanong kay Hannah? Sobrang ganda ng topic natin, no? Kasi meron na tayo nitong first na session sa VUP dun sa ating I think Know Your Better You webinar series. And always minimension yung online presence ni Sir Brian, ni Sir Brian, and yung portfolio na kailangan may link ka dun sa resume mo ng portfolio para mapupuntahan na agad siya ng mga hiring managers. At pag nakita na nga nila yon, all of the applicants, they will all, alam mo yun, magdi-dissolve sila kasi nag-stand out ka na. So, this session really helped us na parang makita yung talagang parang hands-on kung paano siya gagawin. Parang pinakita ni Hannah through LinkedIn kung ano-ano yung mga parts dun sa LinkedIn na kailangan mong i-update. So, sabi niya nga sa atin, challenge yun, na gawin na natin yung LinkedIn natin. Alright, shout out kay Peter na nanonood din. So, do you have any more questions, even from our interns, before we let Hannah go?
Ate, may ano pala, may insight
Yeah.
din ako dun sa sinabi mo na parang yung parang you have to make an effort to stand out. May
Mm.
kwento ako before na in an advertising agency, a friend of mine, nag-apply siya for his dream job. Parang as in, ito yung gusto kong makuha and I think I'm ready for it. Ang ginawa niya, nagpadala siya ng cassette tape with his name and a link to kung paano siya mahahanap. So, obviously, wala na po tayong cassette players today, pero it helped him stand out from the CVs, di ba? And it's an advertising agency. So that in a way establishes his professional brand early on in the process of recruitment. Nag-stand out agad siya. I'm not saying na magpadala kayo ng cassette tapes sa mga a-applyan nyo, pero think of a creative way in order for you to stand out in the job market. And there's always, parang if it aligns with your professional brand, there's always a fun way to exist in the professional space. Hindi siya always about being the CEO, being behind the brand, parang ganon. There's always, kagaya ng sinabi natin kanina, there's always a human side to it. Kung bakit ka na-hire, kung bakit ka na-onboard sa mga companies na. So,
Ayun. Thank you, Hannah, for that insight. Lalo na advertising agency, no? Talagang labanan ng creativity. So,
yeah.
kung nagpadala ka ng gano'n, parang, aba, okay, no questions asked. Parang may isa din na nag-hire siya, parang copywriter yata. And nag-give up yata yung isang copywriter. So, talagang soon yung pagkuha ng position na yon. So, ang ginawa niya, nag-apply. Nagpadala na siya ng sample. So, nakita niya yung sample. No questions asked, hired. Ikaw na yung kukuhanin namin. May one last question pala ako, just to give inspiration din sa ating mga graduating students. You said, attract, ano ba yung sa last mo? Attract opportunities? Parang ganan. Were there moments na dahil dun sa nakita nila sa LinkedIn, there were people na lumapit sa'yo to hire you to get your service instead of looking for them?
Yeah, definitely, Michelle, lalo na dun sa later part, nung nag-transition po ako sa marketing and parang I really made an effort to establish na, okay, I'm your marketer. Parang ganun. And also kasi nagpi-freelance projects na rin po ako ngayon. So LinkedIn is also a place where people find me. Kasi nga, yun, may features na rin siya na ganun if you're providing creative services or if you're open to freelance work, meron na siyang gano'n na people will easily find you. Even sa Facebook, parang when I post on Facebook groups, may mga gano'n din po for freelancers. They can easily find me and tap me for a creative project. So, and those things go beyond my 9-to-5 job. Parang if ganun po kasi yung naging approach ko, feeling ko I will take advantage of my energy and my youth and try to build my portfolio as early as now. Lalo na at this stage, I'm very clear na gusto kong i-pursue yung marketing. And if I limit myself to my 9-to-5 job, I feel like parang hindi ko madidiscover yung other skills that I can do beyond my work. So, consistent din po in looking for it and entertaining requests kasi yun nga, para po siya snowball eh. When you build your professional online, get to meet people. Through these people, you will further build your professional online presence. Tapos ulit-ulit na lang siya until you grow. So kagaya po nung sabi ko kanina na yun nga, yung what I shared as an example, it was 5 years of professional experiences, chasing opportunities, letting opportunities come in, kasi may pagka-yes woman din po ako eh. So, yun yung benefit nun for me na dala-dala ko siya ngayon and I feel like I'm reaping the benefits of that. Diba? Landing your dream job, something like that. Kaya nyo yan, guys. In short, just do the work. Do the work. Yeah.
All right. Siguro at this point, finally, Miss Hannah, any message for our viewers, especially for those who are #graduating students of ours?
siguro also set your expectations yon. Sometimes, di ba, when we see people na they're already successful and we take inspiration from them, madaling isipin na it just happens, pero we all know naman na it will really take a lot of hard work before it happens. So enjoy nyo lang yung process, lalo na sa mga graduating. Mga 2017, mga 2 months after graduation, wala akong ginagawa. Kaya relax lang kayo. You will get there. Parang lahat tayo may proper pacing. You will parang it will benefit you. People will appreciate if as early as now you're moving to get there. Pero try to breathe. Parang ganon. Try to prioritize your own pace. Parang know your own pace, and parang just know na it will all come together in the end. Just be consistent lang with your work siguro. Yun. When it comes to professional networking, yun po, find valuable relationships and nurture them. Yung mga nami-meet mo in your professional network, minsan akala mo wala silang sense or wala silang role sa life mo, pero later on in your career, you would realize na all of the things that are happening in your professional space will further take you to whatever career plans do you have. So be consistent lang, guys. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, very well said. There you have it, Miss Hanna Melissa Sorbito. Hanna Sorbito nga lang pala. Miss Hanna Sorbito. That's her brand. All right, now, hashtag Team Millers, we would like to take this opportunity to thank our speaker for her valuable time. So to award the certificate of appreciation, may I kindly recognize our director, Assistant Professor John Mervin L. Embate. Just let me read the citations first quickly. This certificate of appreciation is awarded to Hanna Melissa N. Sorbito for serving as resource speaker during the third session on Savvy Up, how to build a strong and professional online presence in the Prepping Up for Success webinar series on self-presentation skills and strategies for graduating students, held today, July 15, 2022, at the Learning Resource Center, UPLB College, Laguna. Signed by our director, Sir John Mervin L. Embate. Sir, good morning.
Good morning! Happy lunch, no? Pero bago tayo mag-lunch, of course, gusto nating i-take yung opportunity na to thank Hanna for sharing your expertise and your experiences to our webinar participants today. Nakakatuwa kasi parang nakita natin how much Hanna has grown, no? And alam ko na alam niya ni Sir Chico who's watching us right now, and Ate She, no, na nakakasama ni Hanna sa LRC in the past, no? And nakakatuwa kasi si Hanna, isa siyang malaking inspiration sa mga young graduates natin na gusto ring hanapin yung brand nila, no? Na siguro nandun sila sa turning point ng buhay nila to look out for their identity and to perform their identities, just like what Sir Chico said, no? As they go into their career paths, no, or to pursue their calling. And of course, aside from Hanna, we would also like to take this opportunity to thank our speakers for joining us in our week-long Prepping Up for Success webinar. Kay Sir Basil, who talked about presenting yourself, no, through the outfits that you wear, no. Kay Ma'am Betsy Kruger, who shared with us very important practical tips on how to be an effective speaker. And of course, to Hanna, no, sa pag-share sa atin ng mga valuable tips, paano ba namin pwedeng i-package yung sarili namin in the digital space, no, na lahat nandun na. Kasi lahat tayo ay mga well-trained na stalker. Hinahanap natin kung sino yung mga magiging future nating katrabaho, or kahit yung mga classmates natin, yung mga prof natin, hinahanap natin sila sa social media. So kailangan nating ma-keep in mind to, no, sa paghahanap natin ng trabaho. Paano ba natin ipapackage yung sarili natin, yung online presence natin sa digital space, kasi nandun na tayong lahat, no? And gusto ko lang balikan, Ate She and Hanna, yung sinasabi kanina ni Hanna, no, yung theme natin on finding your why. Ang ganda-ganda, no? Pero naisip ko lang, before you find your why, kailangan makipag-break ka muna. Kasi X comes before your Y. No, but ano, hindi, in all sincerity, in all seriousness, no, I think it's a perfect metaphor for our graduating students, no? Na bago natin mahanap yung identity natin, kailangan muna nating dumaan doon sa breaking point ng buhay natin, na kailangan nating i-let go yung past natin. Kailangan nating iwan kung ano yung mga nakasanayan natin at kailangan nating iwakse yung mga comfort zones na alam na natin para makapag-travel tayo, makapag-move forward tayo sa ating career. And I think sa mga graduating students natin ngayon, exciting yung graduation, no? Pero there's also a tinge of anxiety and uncertainty kasi we don't know where this path will lead us, no? So, ayun siguro yung message na gusto nating sabihin as to why we prepare this Prepping Up for Success webinar, no? Na right now, you are nearing your breaking point in life, no? Na kailangan yung mag-let go doon sa nakasanayan nyo as students. At kailangan na nating mag-move forward para sa improvement natin, para sa success natin, at para makapag-contribute tayo to different areas of development, no? Pero kapag maligaw man tayo sa pagta-travel natin ng road less traveled by, wag nating kakalimutan yung ating anchor. At yung anchor natin, yon yung ating why. Yon yung ating why na nagpapatuloy sa atin, nagko-convince sa atin to continue moving forward. So with that, Hannah, maraming salamat. At sa lahat ng mga tumutok at sumabaybay sa atin this week, maraming salamat sa inyo. And we wish you all the best. We wish you success in your lives. Thank you very much po.
Thank you so much, Sir JM. Again, very well said, sir. And thank you so much for those inspiring words that we all need to hear right now, no? Kahit hindi graduating, kahit mga young professionals and currently employed professionals. Thank you so much po. Sabi nga ni Sir Chico din dito, we don't know what exactly lies ahead, but you can future-proof ourselves as we face a VUCA world. All right. Thank you so much, Hannah, Miss Hannah, and thank you so much, Sir JM. Now, for the evaluation of this session, please do not forget to answer the evaluation form to receive your e-certificate of participation. Again, your comments and suggestions will be deeply appreciated by our team. The evaluation link will be sent to those who successfully registered for the event. And you are also seeing that on our screen, so you may screenshot that, or you can actually scan the QR code so that you could go directly to our evaluation form. Again, the link will be up until 1 p.m. tomorrow, that's Saturday. So mag-answer na po kayo sa ating evaluation forms. And again, we hope that we all gain valuable insights, lessons, tips, strategies from our speakers. From day 1, from Sir Basil, day 2, Ma'am Betsy, and day 3 from Miss Hannah. At this point, we would like to thank and recognize our team, #Team LSC, and the Prepping Up for Success team headed by our director, Sir J.M. Mbate, with the support of our Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Dr. Janet H. Malata Silva. On our technical side is our University Extension Associate, Joshua Michael J. Jonas. A big shout out to our Team LRC's members, si Majem, si Tita Allen, Kuya Iwok, including our SAs and interns, si Dara, si Luis, si Camille, si Hans, at sa lahat pa ng aming SAs. Hindi po sila nakikita lahat sa camera, pero sama-sama at tulong-tulong po kami sa lahat ng programang handog namin po sa inyo. A big thank you once again to Miss Hannah, another powerhouse and inspiring speaker for this morning. To end, let me just share my reflection on our session this morning. It's all about mindset. Mindset is everything to achieve anything in life. If you are in the right frame of mind with clear goals, you can comfortably achieve success in life. Set your goals, follow your passion, make a plan, and set your mindset or your mind to achieve it. With that, congratulations and kudos to all those who took the opportunity to upskill their knowledge and skills while you are #graduating or waiting to don that sablay. So learning never stops after graduation. As lifelong learners, may we all keep a growth mindset, just like Hannah, just like Sir JM, and all of the people who inspired us, like Sir Basil and Mom Betsy. Let's keep on aiming to becoming the best version of ourselves. Muli, maraming salamat for joining us. See you until the next webinar and new learning opportunities. Stay healthy, stay happy, and stay hopeful. Thank you, everyone, and God bless. Bye.